Another thing I wanted to touch on because I've been meeting with lots of farmers. So far in this whole endeavor of running as a candidate to represent the 109th, the thing I'm finding most interesting so far, in addition to all of this, data center hoopla, is finding out more about agriculture in Columbia County. Whether you grew up in Berwick or Bloomsburg or Benton or Millville, I think all of us have a connection to farming and an understanding of that there's a lot of agriculture in our area. Many of us drive past fields to get to school every day growing up. Or as we look out, even my back window here in the middle of Bloomsburg, I'm overlooking a hill that has fields of corn all over it. So we're all aware of that there are lots of farmers in our area. How much acreage each particular farmer farms, not many of us are aware of. What kind of crops those farmers grow, we're not necessarily aware of. What kind of pesticides are being used? What kind of seeds are being used? What kind of companies are they working with to acquire all these seeds? And where is that product getting sold? And that answer kind of changes for depending on all sorts of people. There are some hobby farmers that have, maybe 30, 40 acres that they grow for fun. It's a little extra money, but it's not their main line of business. There's a lot of young people that have gotten into farming because their parents are involved in farming and they have pretty large farms. There are people who farm many different farms around the area because they have larger acreage and they do a commodity type crop. There's also different styles of farming that can be self-sustaining farms that we see in places like what Forks Farm was doing with having animals as well as crops. We also see different religions with Mennonites and Amish running farms in different ways and utilizing different programs than what, I hate to say traditional, but non-Mennonite or Amish farmers use, where they're often utilizing crop insurance or other programs from the government or working with larger corporations that provide animals that they raise for food. So, in learning about that, I am increasingly convinced that Columbia County could be doing a much better job of taking care of our own. We grow all sorts of crops and we raise all sorts of animals here that if we really looked at having a comprehensive system of being able to provide food for our schools, provide food for our food banks, and all the needs that we have here in Columbia County, I think that we would be able to have a healthier food chain, which so many of us are interested in these days. If you pay attention to any of the MAHA stuff, it's all about locally sourced, not GMO, not, processed. Well, we're growing a lot of that here in Columbia County. And for all of you that know and go to the farmers market or see what we have locally available in some of our grocery stores, there's a lot available here in Columbia County. So I would like to start exploring ways that we can work with Penn State Agriculture because we have one of the top schools for ag in the country. And they already are working. They have a wonderful veterinary program. We need to expand these types of things. We need to expand, if we're asking all of our small producers who are raising animals that those animals need to be USDA butchered, we need more butchers. We have a state school here in Bloomsburg with Commonwealth Bloomsburg campus. I think that we need to be finding ways to expand. They're focused on teachers and nurses and other things, but they have a business program. Farming is a business. It's a dirty job, but it's a job, and there's big money involved too. So working with our local universities, which are state universities, to find ways to incorporate agribusiness into their business programs, whether it be agritourism or whatever channel they want to get into, but focusing on that, and then also finding ways to use the demand that we already have to support our local farmers and be able to safeguard them, not necessarily with just crop insurance, but by guaranteeing local markets for them to be able to thrive. It's very difficult if you do not have access to a farm to get into farming, because you're not eligible for a lot of programs that larger farmers are able to take advantage of. If, let's say, you want to start a farm, but to pay the bills in the meantime, you have to work a 9-to-5 job. And that 9-to-5 job is contributing more than half of the income to your family. Well, you're not considered really a farmer, even though you're doing all the farm work. So there's a lot that could really be improved in that whole environment, while supporting local businesses, supporting local farmers, and supporting all of us who would prefer to eat healthier, more locally sourced food.